Hello, this is a video tutorial on how to get started with Fusion. So once you download Fusion correctly and install it, and you sign in with your account, you should be able to see something similar to this, right? So here, if you hit this data panel icon, you should be able to see a menu that looks something like this. Here you should only have one available project, which is, I believe, my first project. That's what they call it by default. Now I'm going to show you how to get started with a new project or folder just for this class, so you can store everything there. What you would have to do is, first of all, make sure you're in home, so all projects, and then go to new project, and then simply create a new project called Summer 2020 Mech 1305 or something like that. Okay. Now in my case, I already had one. This is the second Summer 2020 folder I'm creating. But as you can see, I like to keep everything organized. So spring, summer, fall, whatever it might be, right? And this is gonna really help you sort of store everything where you should, so you don't lose time. Now once that's done, all you really have to do is double click on that, and then whatever component you're creating, whatever new file you have, as soon as you save, it's gonna automatically want to go into that new folder as long as you're in this location. Okay. Now usually we have specific naming formats for things. You will get that information later on, but we usually like to have things like assignment 1 underscore your last name underscore your first name. Okay. Now the reason for this saving format is we're gonna start grading most of our assignments, and when we download stuff into our computers from Blackboard, usually we don't have access to all of the information of who actually submitted that particular component. So in this case, by having this naming format, that's also going to help us a lot. Okay. Now there's a couple of things that we're going to get started on. The most important is how to get started with units. Okay, so in this case, my default is units of millimeters, and I can change those active units. So change the unit, millimeter, I can change it to centimeters, meter, inches, foot, whatever it might be. Okay, so again, the way you do that is open up the document settings, hover over millimeters, and then this little icon on the right is going to appear. Just click that, and then you'll be able to change the units to whatever you want. Okay, now this is essentially all we need to get started on Fusion. Okay, now before we actually get started on creating components, we always have to start with 2D sketches. Okay, so in this case, every single time you want to draw something on Fusion, you always have to start a sketch. Okay, so in my case, I'm going to hit create sketch. Now I have 3 different planes that I can use. Okay, now here we see this red line. Red is going to depict the x-axis, and then we have this green line. The green is going to depict the y, and then the blue line is going to depict the z. Okay, now your Fusion might look a little bit different than this, just given the preferences on the setup that you want. Okay, so in my case, this is how I set up my Fusion, but it's all the same really. So here we have the XY plane depicted in gray here, and then the YZ plane, and then the XZ plane. Okay, so these are the 3 main planes that I can use. So I always like to start sort of in the ground and then build my way up. Okay, now here we just created a sketch, but there's really nothing there, right? Now the one clue that I'm gonna give you, a hint, if you will, on how to always get started is, first things first, understand what you're trying to build and how to build it. Okay, So always think of simple shapes. Now in this case, we have things like lines, okay? And then we have things like circles, okay? And then we have things like rectangles, okay? So all of these things are simple shapes that we can create in 2D to be able to eventually convert into a 3D component, right? Now in this case, the way you saw me build these three things is you don't really see it, but I'm hitting specific keys on my keyboard as shortcuts, okay? Now we also have all of those up here. So in this case, if I open up the create menu, you'll see that we have lines. So I can create a line, and then this letter you see there, that's the actual shortcut that you would type on your keyboard to go into that mode, okay? So in this case, if I type L on my keyboard, notice how my cursor changes that little icon, and I'm now in a line mode, if you will, okay? Now, anytime you want to stop building, just hit escape in your keyboard, and that's going to allow you to sort of exit that mode, okay? So again, line is L. For circle, it's also pretty intuitive. Circle is a C on your keyboard. So just type C, you go into circle mode, click, click, and then you just created a circle, right?
Ocurrió un problema. Vuelve a intentarlo en unos segundos.
Please excuse that. That was my Google Home going crazy on me. So like I was saying, this is a circle. So type C in your keyboard. And then finally for rectangle, again, pretty intuitive. You can go to rectangle. You can type R, and you're now in rectangle mode. Okay. So the reason I'm only showing you these three is because these are the three specific shapes that you're gonna use for the most part. Okay, eventually you're also gonna get to use different things like splines and things like that, or polygon tools, but in this case we're gonna start off with the basic stuff, and then we'll eventually build up to the harder or just simply more tools for you to be able to use. Okay, now on top of this ones, there's another very important tool for drafting or drawing that is called a trim tool. Okay, so a trim tool is here depicted with a couple of scissors, and it does exactly what you think it does. So it's just trimming excess material or excess lines or curves from a sketch. Okay, now before we go into trim tool, I'm gonna do something a little bit crazy here, just so we can sort of see what's happening. Okay, now if I were to use my trim tool here, and I try to delete this line, the trim tool is only going to delete the section you click up until the next intersection. Okay, so notice how that line intersected this other horizontal line, so it only trimmed up until that point right there. Okay, now if I were to do the same on the other side, it would trim all the way until this bottom horizontal. Okay, if I were to trim that inside, then it trims the inside, right? So let's try that again, and let's see what happens. So if I just want to delete this inside section, I just trim the inside, and now I have the outside and the outside. Okay, so that works for any shape, like you can see. Now another thing I want to show is that shortcut I just used is simply Control Z. Okay, so Control Z is undo, which is going to be probably your best friend in this class. Any single time you mess up something, just do Control Z, go back, try it again, and chances are you'll eventually get the hang of it, and you'll be able to be a lot more efficient, a lot faster when doing CAD. Okay, now the other thing that I want to see is, notice how this area here has sort of that bluish background, right? So same thing with this one, and this one. Now, what that shading means is that this isn't actually, it's actually a closed area. Okay, so closed areas are going to be very important whenever you try to extrude or revolve or sweep that specific area into a 3D shape. Okay, now those three things I mentioned, extrude, revolve, and sweep, are going to be three different tools that we use to actually create solids out of 2D shapes. Okay, now in this case, a line doesn't really have any depth to it. It doesn't have an area. It's simply a line connecting two points, right? But if I were to create something like this, notice how it's now two lines, but because this corner and this corner are not closed, then this is not a closed area, right? Now, if I get pretty close, but not quite, it's still not a closed area, right? So I still cannot use this to create a solid, okay? So this has to be closed with this other one. Now, there's a couple of ways we can do that. Probably one of the easiest ones is to simply use constraints, but at this point, I don't want to get too much into constraints just yet, just because that's sort of gonna come in the next week or so, okay? So instead of doing that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do Control Z, and then when I create this second line or third line, I'm just going to make sure that it starts at that corner and that it ends at that corner. And now we have a closed area. Okay, so I think this is enough for you all to get started on Fusion. Again, this is just an intro on how to get started with the bare minimum, and then we'll actually carry on with this in the assignments. Now, the last thing I want to show you before we move forward is the only one point of reference that we have in Fusion when we first start is the origin. Okay, so in this case, this origin is the only thing that I can use to attach things to. Okay, now what I'm going to do is try to get used to always doing this when starting a new project or a new component. Is I'm going to hit L for a line, and then I'm going to start always at the origin, and then I'm going to go to the right. Okay, and then I'm going to repeat the process. So L for a line, start at the origin and go straight up. Now this line here is now going to become my x-axis, while this line up here is now going to become my y-axis. Okay, so now we're going to be able to use that as a reference sort of for coordinate systems and things like that. Okay, now this line here, notice how it's a solid, right? So solid lines in Fusion are going to be used to actually build something. Okay, now in this case, we don't want the x-axis to build anything. We only want to use it as a reference point. Okay, same thing for the y. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn these two lines into this thing called a construction or a reference line. Okay, now the way to do that is I can just select it. So click on the line, turns blue, and then I can hit construction. Okay, and notice how it turns from a solid into a dotted line. So anytime you see a dotted line, it simply means it's a construction or a reference line. Okay, now in this case, I'm going to repeat the process, except instead of going to construction, I can just type X in my keyboard and it's going to do the same thing. Okay, now big difference between this line and this line. So the difference between the two is this line here is depicted in black, while this one here is depicted in blue. So anytime you see blue in Fusion, it simply means that it's a line, curve, circle, whatever it might be, that is not fully constrained or fully defined. Okay, that means that this line can still move in one shape or form, while this line can no longer move. It's set in space, it's defined as it is, it can no longer move. The only thing that can move in this line is the actual length, as you can see here, but that doesn't really bother us because this line is just a reference. Okay, now the way you get these things to actually fully constrain, fully define themselves is by adding constraints and adding dimensions, which will sort of start covering little by little. Okay, so just sort of look forward to that, understand those differences. Okay, so here we have two main differences. One is color. So black means it's fully defined, is the last version. You can still modify it, but it's set. Okay, it's defined, it cannot just move on its own. While blue simply means that it's not defined completely. It's missing something, something can still be adjusted or modified or move on its own. Okay, we don't want those movements or those adjustments to happen on their own. We always want to have fully defined sketches. Okay, and then the second difference is solid to dotted. So solid means it's gonna build, dotted means it's just a reference. Okay, so we'll stop there for now. Go ahead and try some of these things, play around with the system a little bit and try to do some things, and then we'll also include some assignments for you to get started on actually building sketches that make sense. Okay, so I'll stop it right there.